Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy is the topic of discussion. I was going through the internet and I found an interview. I think this was like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 months ago, where he did this interview with the Knuckleheads Podcast. So that's Quentin Richardson and Darius Miles. And they got on the topic of Dwight Howard. Of course, Quentin Richardson played with Dwight Howard. So he posed the question. He was like, "Man, how do you feel about Dwight Howard getting left off the top 20, top 75 of all time list? And can you explain, how dominant he was? Because Matt Barnes, Turkoglu, Quentin Richardson, Gilbert Arenas, and JJ Redick. Those are 5 perimeter players who all either have podcasts or have done interviews on podcasts and spoke about this, and they all would talk about and rave about how when they were playing defense in Orlando with Dwight Howard on the back end in the paint as a rim protector, everyone got a boost that was on the perimeter because you could get away with so much. Even if your man beat you, Dwight Howard was going to clean it up. So as a defender, they talked about how Dwight Howard, I mean, there's really not a lot of people you can compare to that. So just as a defender, Dwight Howard would probably make the top 75 because we had specialists that was in there, like Dennis Rodman got in there just for defense and rebounding. Dwight Howard has more rebounds and more blocks than Rodman, right? So you could essentially say he's a better rebounder and a better defender. At least shot blocker than Dennis Rodman. And then you got Dikembe Mutombo, who's in the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure if he's top 75. He might be. I think he is. But if he is, he's just in there just for shot blocking. Right. So you got players like that, but you got Dwight, who was even a better defender and a better shot blocker. But on top of that, he also gave you 20 plus points a game. So I'm gonna play for you what Stan Van Gundy had to say about it. But before I even get to there, make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, so you can like it and the notification bell as well. Share the feed and also leave a comment. If you're watching us from Facebook, head over to YouTube and do everything I just said. Definitely subscribe. But without further ado, let's play what Stan Van Gundy had to say about Dwight Howard.
Get from your standpoint, because we've talked about it previously on here. We feel that Dwight obviously should have been on that top 75 list, and that you coached him for most of his dominant reign. Can you just talk about how he literally dominated, like defensively? Like obviously his offensive game came on a little bit later, but like from the very jump, just talk about how good and like all-time good he was as a defender.
Yeah, look, the time I was here, to me, the only 2 guys you could even talk about in his league at that time were LeBron and Kobe.
Yeah.
Was still playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Like there was no one else to talk about, in my opinion, because you're talking both ends of the floor. I mean, he was 3 straight years a defensive player of the year. And, we were always 1, 2, 3, something like that in defense. And if you look out there, like we had really good players, but we didn't necessarily have really good defenders. It was because of him. And other guys put in great effort. I don't want to, but what made us a really good defense was him, right?
Taking that goal.
And then on offense, he's still getting you 20 plus. And we didn't even go to him a whole lot.
Right, yeah.
Like we weren't throwing
Pounding
him the ball all
yeah.
the time to let him get numbers, but everything revolved around him. I mean, he would roll, and at that time, suck in the entire defense, and then we had shooters around him. I mean, look, for him to not be in the top 75, that was just a personality thing. There's no way, I mean, I think Anthony Davis is great, but at the time they selected it, you're selecting on the careers they had up to that point.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's not close. There's not, like, you can think a guy is better. That's fine. Like, that's a subjective thing, right? Yeah. It's like I was arguing with people the other day. Like, it's fine if you want to tell me that Michael Jordan was a better basketball player than LeBron James. That's fine. You can make a case for that. What you can't make a case for is that Michael Jordan had a better career than LeBron James. You can't make a case for that.
No.
And when you're going top 75, you cannot make a case. And I'm only bringing out one guy. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
But you cannot make a case that Anthony Davis, when they picked that team, or even now, had a better career than Dwight Howard. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, man. I'm glad he said that. I think more people should talk about that, man. I really think the NBA did a disservice with their top 75 list. They really did a horrible job. Now, when they did the top 50, you know, there was a lot of people on board with that. I want to say Shaq was still playing in Orlando, maybe, when they did the top 50. He wasn't even quite in LA yet, you know, so he didn't have a resume that'll put him in there. But as a player, we knew Shaq was, you know, we knew Shaq was it, right? Now, the harm in taking liberties to say we're going to project out and we think this player can do X, Y, and Z. If they don't do it, or God forbid something happens, they get hurt, you know, or you have a lockout season 1 year and then you come back like Sean Kipp at 300 pounds. You get what I'm saying? Like, and then they're not able to achieve their greatness that you projected, then, you know, you kind of make yourself look foolish and you mess the whole list up. All right. So that didn't happen for Shaquille O'Neal getting picked in the top 50. The other guys they picked in there, there was some questionable guys, like the guys we never seen play, but we just got to take their word for it. You know, we just got to believe that there was as great as, and deserving of this top 50 list. So we didn't have that many issues with the top 50, but this top 75, when they came out with the additional players, that was just problematic all over the place. I mean, it was just it was just soiled with personal vendettas against players. Like Van Gundy said, man, this had to be personality or something personal dealing with Dwight Howard on how he was left out, on how the voters left him out, the writers or whatever, or whoever voted for it. I don't know if it was his peers, writers, or just people around the league. I have no clue who was doing all the voting. But it had to be personal just to leave somebody that good, that great out on both ends of the floor, who had done what he done in his career and was past his prime. So most of his career was done. And then they grabbed his teammate at the time, Anthony Davis, who's literally done nothing except won a bubble ring because he joined up with a great Lakers squad. Right. So that was problematic. And, you know, don't want to make this about another player, but I mean, they left Kyrie out for personal reasons, put Dame Lillard in, who's a great player, but doesn't have a resume deserving of it. And he's not a better player than Kyrie Irving. Right. So you leave Kyrie off of it. You leave T-Mac off of it. You leave Vince Carter off of it. But you bring in a guy like Reggie Miller. You bring in a guy like I said, AD again, and you bring Westbrook in as well. Just very weird. So the 75 list is an illegitimate list in my opinion. Like I can't even take it serious. Like, you know, yeah, some of the guys that are on it deserve it, but there's so many guys on it that don't deserve it that it taints the whole list. And there's so many guys they left off that had nothing to do with basketball, which taints the whole list. So that's one thing. The other thing is, we at some point we really got to start giving Dwight Howard his flowers, because he deserved it. You know, this guy, like he said, when he was in his prime, 3 straight Defensive Player of the Year awards, right? And he probably could have got more than that, right? He led a team to the finals against the Kobe led Lakers when we all thought it was supposed to be LeBron James. So what we kept claiming LeBron James was Dwight Howard was actually that guy. And not only did he make it to the finals that year against Kobe, he went through LeBron. He went through LeBron's team that won 66 games and beat them easily. All right. I want to say he got through Boston as well. Right. So he got through some squads, got all the way to the finals against the Lakers there, and the Lakers was just on another mission. They lost to a better team. But the fact that he did what we all thought LeBron was going to be able to do. And if you really look at their career up to that point, the only thing LeBron did that he didn't do was win the MVP. Because of course they both got Rookie of the Year. Dwight got Defensive Player of the Year under his belt, so that's almost like saying, the Defensive Player of the Year and the Offensive Player of the Year, MVP and Defensive Player. I mean, it's still a most valuable player, but on the defensive end, right? So that's a major award. So he did his thing with that. He was leading his team, and he got to the finals and lost against a better team. LeBron took the Cavs to the finals, and we made it seem like he was a guide for taking that team to the finals. But Dwight took a similar team to the finals as well. He got a game out of it against the Lakers. At least LeBron didn't even get there. He got swept. They both came out of high school. It was just a lot of similarities, but we never was acknowledging how good Dwight was and how dominant and how great he was, because LeBron overshadowed them because we just like LeBron better, and we talking about we as NBA fans and media. Same thing with Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony actually did above and beyond what LeBron was doing, really, but it just got overshadowed. Like, Carmelo should have been the Rookie of the Year that year as well. So I don't know. I say all that to say this. I don't know what the personal vendetta is with Dwight. I don't know why people don't like him. I don't even know why he's not even in the league right now. He can still play. He's always in shape. When he's healthy, he's gonna give you defense and rebounding, and he's gonna give you a offensive force in the paint if you need it. Right? He's gonna run the floor, and despite what the rumors are, I've never really heard anybody legitimately say he was a locker room issue. So I don't know what the issue is with Dwight Howard, but he's one of the greats. And I hope this trend don't continue and he has issues getting into the Hall of Fame, because I think he's first ballot. Right. I want you to go ahead and go and look to see where he ranks at all time in rebounds and blocks. Right. And your favorite shot blockers and your favorite rebounders, he's already passed them. I can guarantee you that he's already passed them. And if he was still in the league and playing for a team, I think that by the time he retired, give it about 2 or 3 more years, I think he would be close to top 5 in rebounds and block shots, and both of them. Right. I think he's top 10 right now, but I think he could reach top 5 in both of them if he was still in the league for 2 or 3 more years. But that's how good Dwight Howard is. But I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I appreciate Stan Van Gundy keeping his name alive with their commentary, and the Knuckleheads Podcast doing it as well. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section, though. Do you think Dwight Howard should be on the top 75 list? Do you think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame? And do you think it was something personal that kept him off this the 75 list? Until then, I catch y'all.